is Saffron Murray and I live in Ireland. This is my gentle yoga teach back. So hello to Sherry, Justine and all the crew in Vista Yoga. I love the work you do. So I'm just going to begin with my theme. The theme for my class, what I've chosen is basically asymmetrical. We have one body, and when we look in the mirror, predominantly it is symmetrical. We've limbs on both sides and legs. However, in all the classes that I teach, many people always say, oh, this is not my good side and I can't do this with this arm, and even many in my in the nursing homes where I teach, some of them only have one limb. So basically I just always say it's not what you can't do, it's what you can do, and it's to remind people all the time, work with what you have and work the best side as best you can on both sides. So there's some theories around why our bodies are asymmetrical. It could be the increase of blood flow is maybe more predominant in one side than the other, or it could be to do with the decrease in lymphatic drainage, and maybe closing our bodies off and you know, shutting down some parts of our cells. So really through our yoga practice, what's beautiful about it, we can actually work both sides one at a time and get the best to our optimal health to our whole body, whether it's the front, the back, one side, the other, or even in our twists, we can work one side of the full body and then the other side of the full body. So I hope you enjoy my class today. Let's begin. So let's sit comfortably, and I just invite everybody to maybe take a blanket or a block or something, and we'll start off by sitting on the block and blanket just to help opening our hips a little bit more. We'll sit over to one side, or lean over to one side of your body, and just take the flesh of your bum out and sitting on our sit bones, the bony bits in our bum that we have to sit on, leaning over to the opposite side, and do the set, just lifting the flesh of the bum out and finding those sit bones. And maybe if you whittle on your sit bones, you'll really notice them a little bit more. Taking our feet out and just maybe taking our baby toes, our little piggy toes, and pushing them into the ground just to get a length in our legs, lengthen up through the body. So take a nice inhale, and as we inhale, lengthen up through the body, exhaling, relax the shoulders away from the ears. Taking our two hands onto our upper laps and having our elbows just underneath our wrists. Taking a nice big inhale. We'll just softly close down our eyes. Just noticing our body, how it feels today. Appreciating that we have a more dominant side, but we can work both sides equally, the full max potential. Inhaling and exhaling. As you're breathing here, we just want to do 3 cleansing breaths. We're going to inhale into the nose. We'll do an exhale through the mouth like we want to fog up a mirror. So widening your mouth a little bit. Really feel that fogging mirror sensation. Inhaling through the nose. And a big exhale through the mouth. Starting to relax and release and let go. Inhaling through the nose. And a big exhale through the mouth. Inhaling through the nose one more time. Exhaling through the mouth. Letting go. We'll just do a small bit of breath work behind closed eyes. Taking our hand to our heart center. Noticing how our heart rises and falls as we breathe in and out. And taking one hand to our belly. As we inhale, feel our chest rise, inhaling through the nose. And as we exhale, just opening our mouth slightly through purged lips, blowing, releasing. Inhaling through the nose. And maybe this time you might want to imagine you're smelling the freshest fruit, your favourite fruit. Maybe strawberries or mango. Summer's coming into this country now. And as you exhale, slowly release and let go. Inhaling, feeling the senses in your body, feeling the chest rise and fall as you inhale and exhale. Exhaling, releasing. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling, releasing. Feel the softening coming to your body. Feel the calmness enter your body. Noticing how your hand feels on your chest. Can you feel it hot or cold? Noticing the front and the back of the body. As you inhale, it rises. As you exhale, feel the front part of your body descend. And just gently relaxing the body down, getting ready for our practice. Any noise outside, exterior noises that we hear, we'll just keep the focus in the room. Slowly placing our hands down onto our laps, feeling the heat of the palms of the hand as they touch our thighs. Drawing our elbows behind us a little bit. Opening our chest as we breathe in, and we're going to slowly take a little nod yes. Nodding our head slowly and gently, tucking our chin and bringing our chin up towards the ceiling gently, releasing the front of our necks, compressing slightly the back, slowly nodding yes. Tucking our chin under, feeling the length in the back of the neck and drawing our head back up again. Nice big inhale. And exhale, slowly drawing our chin, tucking our chin under, maybe holding the pause here for a moment, really feeling the length in the back of the neck. And inhaling, coming back up to center. This time behind the closed eyes, we'll take a look to our right. And coming back to center on the inhale, exhaling, looking left. Inhale back to center. And exhale, taking the chin over towards the right hand side. Just like we're saying no to something. No to negativity in our life. Notice how one side might feel a little tighter than the other. We'll start to loosen both sides equally. Just going back and forth. Slowly we'll come back to center. Taking an inhale, lengthen up through the body. Often when we move one side and the other side, it actually helps our brain to actually function a little bit better. So we're going to keep our blanket underneath and maybe change the cross of the legs for a moment. So crossing over the legs, sitting up nice and tall. We want to get space in our spine as we do so. So keeping the cross over the legs. We're going to just circle our wrists on both sides. Circling around and around and just going one direction. Maybe taking the elbows in and out. Just start working into our joints. Coming back the other way. Maybe starting out and around. Start getting into the elbows and the shoulders and the fingers. And just as we have our hands at the center, we're just going to take our two index fingers and just keeping our elbows up like we do in a namaste hands, but keeping them up and just maybe pull our fingers a little bit. This helps to actually start opening our pectoral muscles and maybe give a little bit of strength to our back muscles. And they actually, swapping over the next finger, so coming onto our middle finger and just pull on both fingers. This is meant to actually release emotions in our bodies. Taking the next index finger, which is the ring finger, and just pulling gently on the two. We don't have to strain, we don't want to yank the fingers off ourselves, but just pull a little bit gentle. This has to open and release in our knuckles. So anyone that does a lot of knitting or sewing or construction or anything to do with the hands or cooking and cleaning, what most people do, this has to just start getting into the knuckles, giving a little bit of a strength and release. Taking into namaste hands. Just roll the hands forwards, inhaling and exhaling as we do. Just giving a little bit of press on our hands, just to kind of rotating our wrists as we do so. And we'll just relax our bodies down. Just do a little circle. That's it. So I'm just going to lower the music just in case now we're a little bit more relaxed, just in case it's a little bit too loud. Keeping everything nice and soft. So I'm going to continue crossing the legs over again. Just nice to get the fluidity into the legs by crossing them back and forth. We're just going to start getting into the sides of our body. So we've relaxed our necks, a little bit in the arms and shoulders. We just have stretching a little bit of the sides. But inhale, lengthening up nice and tall. Bring the shoulders down. Bring our shoulders back onto our back. Inhaling, taking onto one side. And we're going to come over to our right hand side. So taking our right hand, pressing into our mat, stretching the side body. So try your best to keep that left hip plugged into the ground as we stretch up all the way up and over. I'm going to just take a little add on to this. So if you remember in the olden days, the gentlemen used to wear boulder hats. So we're going to take a hold of our boulder hat. I'm going to inhale, lengthen. And as we exhale, we're going to hold on to our hat as we bow to the ladies over to the right hand side. Plugging our left hip into the mat and feel that stretch all the way from the left hip to the up into the intercostal muscles of our ribs, all the way up through our shoulder. We're going to take a nice inhale. As we inhale, we're going to lengthen up all the way, taking our boulder hat, looking over our shoulders and taking our hats off. As we hold the hat out to the side, take our look over to our left and bow to the ladies, keeping our shoulders away from the ears. Nice big inhale, coming all the way up, placing our hand back on our head, bowing one more time, coming all the way up and over. Inhaling, coming all the way up. Exhale, take that hat off, send it out to the back, feel that nice stretch in your arms, stretching all the way. It's like you want to give the hat away. As you inhale, lengthen all the way up through the spine, looking over to the ladies, bow to the ladies again, hats off to the ladies. And place your hand back on your head. As you do, we're going to send our hand forward and draw your hand back into a half angel wing. Draw our hand forward and take our half to a half angel wing. Draw our hand forward, and as we draw our hand back the next time, inhale, lengthen as we twisting all the way towards the back, taking that left shoulder, taking the muscles onto the back. Taking our gaze over to the left, keeping the left hand muscle down. Inhale back to center, relax this hand down. Swapping over to the opposite side. So inhale, lengthen both arms. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Taking our left hand down to the mat for good sturdy stability. Inhale, lengthen up through our hands. We're going to take hold of our boulder hat. So get a nice deep side stretch first. As we come up and over, maybe take a look under our armpit. So we have our lymphatic drainage, our lymph nodes are all in our gland areas between our necks, under our armpits, in our groin. It's going to stretch them out. Inhale, coming up slightly. This time we're going to tilt our boulder hat towards our front left knee, stretching out the intercostal muscles in our back, keeping our right hip plugged into the mat. And with our lymphatic drainage, this actually helps to maintain all the balance and fluid between the blood and the tissues. It also is very good just to keep our immune system strong in our bodies. So by opening and releasing our lymphatic system, inhaling, hold on to our boulder hat, coming all the way back, twisting as we inhale, exhale, I should say, sending that hat all the way out. This is having like a life force reach as well. Extending, building a little bit of strength into our bodies as we stretch it out. Taking a hold of our hat back on, going to look all the way over to the ladies. Nearly forgot the ladies. Bow our heads to the ladies. Coming all the way back up, inhale. Lengthen through the spine, taking our hands back onto our head. And stretching all the way over one more time. Going into the side of our right hand side of our body. Stretching through the intercostal muscles. Inhale, lengthen all the way back up. Taking our hats, boulder hats off out to the back. Looking over to the ladies and bowing our heads down with grace and courtesy. Inhale, going all the way back up. And as we do, we're going to send our hand forward and take a half angel wing. So draw that hand back. This helps to open up the pectoral muscles. A lot of people with kyphosis, which Dowger's hump, have very tight pectorals. So stretch that hand all the way out and draw that elbow all the way back, squeezing the muscles back on to strengthen our rhomboids. This brings strength onto our back. Doing them one at a time. Send it all the way out. Inhale and stretch all the way back. Beautiful. And relax that hand down. Take a little shoulder stroke. So just do a little bit of an opening to the front and the back. To the front and the back of our bodies this time, just with a little circle of joy. Inhale, lengthen all the way up through the spine. Hands into prayer position, namaste hands. As we take an inhale, lengthen all the way up, drop the shoulders down, interlacing our fingers, allowing our belly button to go towards the back of the spine, like in a cat pose, stretching out our arms. So giving a lovely stretch to all our forearms, underneath our shoulders, stretching the shoulder blades a little bit, drawing our belly button, our pubic bone up towards our belly buttons. As we take an inhale, we're going to stretch up nice and tall, bringing our backs into a nice neutral spine. And as we separate our hands, we're going to bring our heart to the front, spreading our hands into starfish hands, spreading our shoulders, coming back up to namaste, spine in neutral. Inhale. Exhale, interlacing our fingers, sending our hands all the way out, allowing our pelvic to tilt. So drawing our belly button all the way to the back of the spine, stretching our upper backs as we inhale, coming all the way to neutral spine, lengthening all the way as we exhale, coming into a beautiful little arch. So it's like cat-cow seated. Inhale one more time. Exhaling, drawing ourselves all the way down. Pressing through our hands. Inhale, coming all the way up. So we're stretching the front and the back of our body this time. And inhale back to center. Coming into a little seated twist. So we'll just end our stretching, our loosening up of our body in a seated twist. So you want to cross our legs one more time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, taking our hands out in front. And as we exhale on the twist, taking our left hand to our right knee and taking our right hand towards the back of our sacrum, towards pressing into the mat as we do so. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, just twisting over a little. This is a slight leverage, so go easy. If anyone has any injuries to do with the spine or anything, we just want to go very gently here. Taking a look over. This gives a lovely stretch towards the neck, towards our upper backs. One more inhale here. And inhale back to center. Exhale. Exhaling, twisting to the opposite side. So now we're going to give a lovely stretch to our right shoulder up here. Inhale, lengthen as we push our left hand into the mat. Exhale, see if you can twist that a little bit more. Just go nice and gently. You don't want to overstrain anything. So now just notice how one side of the body feels compared to the other. Do you find you can twist one side better than the other? One more breath here, inhaling. And gently coming back to center. Just crawling our hands forward, taking a little bow. Keeping our hands pressed into the mat. Just tucking our chin slightly down. Breathing into the back of our body, feeling the body expand. Feeling our shoulders expand, our lumbar, thoracic, all the way down, our bodies expand all the way into the intercostal muscles of our ribs. Inhaling, coming all the way. Okay, so we might start into our hips. Just give a little stretch to our hips and our legs. So just give a little shake out. Say good morning, legs. Hopefully they're nice and awake. So again, if you just want to readjust the flesh of your bum, just on either side. Just get a little bit of expansion, a bit of grounding into the ground. And again, by moving one side on the other, it just helps to ground it equally, so we're not off to one side. So we want to, just with our ankles, just point and flex. Take your hands behind your back, maybe take your shoulders back a little bit, just pointing and flexing. Circling our ankles, just to give them a little wake up after sitting on them for a little bit of period of time. Circling the opposite direction. Keep a bend in the knees as you do so. We're going to do some yoga, wide leg yoga circles here. So we want to make sure that we're sitting on the edge of our blanket. So just get a little bit of an opening in our hips. We're going to sit tall with our tall spine. We're going to inhale, we're going to lengthen. And we're going to exhale. We're going to twisting from the core muscles, twisting over towards the right, taking your gaze with you as we exhale down towards our right foot, coming through center. As we come up to the left leg, we're going to inhale as we lengthen up all the way, flexing our feet, looking towards our arms, keeping the shoulders plugged down our back. As we inhale, exhale, we're going to twist again over to the right. So we get a little flowing motion going here. This starts to open up the legs. Inhaling up. Exhaling, twisting our core. So this helps with our core muscles also. Into our hamstrings, into the inner part of our thighs. Inhaling, lengthen. Exhaling, twisting all the way over to our right hand side. And as we exhale, in every last drop of our head down, inhaling and lengthen, coming back up, stopping there for a moment and pausing, just readjusting our shoulders back in. Inhale, lengthen. Through our spine, exhale, twisting to the left hand side this time, coming all the way down, circling all the way through our center. Feel the opening in the hips, inhaling as we come all the way up, looking at through our hands, exhaling down, exhaling through center. Feel the stretch in each side of your back as we do that, inhaling all the way up, twisting from the core and exhaling down, coming through center. And one last time as we inhale, lengthen all the way up, and exhaling, release the arms down. Little shoulders drop. One arm at a time. And maybe coming forward, a little swing. One arm at a time. We're just going to come nice and gently, removing the blanket out of the way. And we're going to come into a cat-cow position. Take our blanket out in front. So, facing our hands, and we want to make sure our alignment is good. So we want to have the L's of our hands spread just underneath our shoulders. So keep our hands parallel. And I always like to have my hands spread out just so they're activated a little bit, and it helps to claw my mat. So we want to make sure we're actually going to claw the mat as we're pressing into the ground. And using our magic buttons, these I like to call our magic buttons. So if you feel both sides of these two areas of your hand, they're the bony bits that we want to plug into the ground. So we want to take the weight off our wrists and just pressing into the ground. So by feeling that, it just gives muscle memory into those two magic buttons in our hands. So we're going to start with a little cat-cow. So this opens the front and back of the body, and it helps to lubricate our spine. So we'll start off with an inhale and table. Keeping our knees placed nicely underneath our hips and have our insteps flat into the ground, spreading the toes so that the toes, each piggy toe, is touching the mat. Inhale. And as we exhale, lowering our tailbone all the way down towards the mat as we start raising the lower part of our back, then the middle part of our back, all the way up towards the ceiling. Feel a beautiful stretch as we tuck our chin under to our heart center and stretching out our thoracic spine. Inhaling as we tuck our shoulders down to our heart center down towards the mat and curving our spine gently, one vertebrae at a time, sending our chin up towards the ceiling as our tailbone goes up towards the ceiling. Exhaling, curving our tailbone all the way down. So start getting a little bit of motion, fluid motion into our cat-cow. Inhaling all the way down into cow and exhaling, drawing the tailbone down into cat. One more time, giving a little inhale into cow, pressing through the magic buttons and exhaling all the way down. Inhale back to table. We're going to take our gaze over to our left, as we bring our left hip towards us. And then we'll do the opposite. We're going to take our right hip out to the side as we look over to our right. So we're just going to do a little waggy tail, keeping our neck long as we do so. We don't want to hang our necks down. We want to keep our necks nice and long so we can lengthen out the cervical part of our spine. This just helps to compress and release into the sides of our bodies, wagging our tail. I like to call this wag the tail. Inhale, coming back to neutral. Just get a little looseness to the hip. We're going to just circle our hips in towards our nose and out, in towards our nose, circling around and circling the opposite direction. It's like a little bit of a, if you want to step in and out of things, you want to keep our legs and hips in a nice lubricant state. We're going to take our opposite leg out, circling all the way around. Just get a little bit into the hips and the opposite direction. Beautiful. Relaxing both knees down, taking our hands into child's pose, just coming up onto our hips. And just circle our wrists out a little bit, just releasing, just from holding onto our hips that little bit. Just circle our both wrists out, keeping ourselves safe all the time. We're going to come into a child's pose, and in our child's pose we're going to take it to one side and then the other. So we get whichever is our dominant side, it doesn't matter. We're going to give a lovely extension to both sides so that each side gets the max out of our little stretch. So coming into child's position, lowering our head down and just take a breath here. Taking a pause and just notice how the body feels. Allow your hips to sink equally into the mat, down towards your heels. As you take a breath, breathe into the muscles on the back. Feel an expansion all the way down the back, into the intercostal muscles, into the muscles in between each rib. This is very good for your breathing by expanding our rib cage. On the next inhale, we're going to just raise our head gently. We're going to take our left hand all the way out towards the left side. We're going to take our right hand, placing our right hand on top of our left hand, spreading out our fingers, and just make sure that we keep our right hip plugged in to the ground. Take a nice inhale, relax the body down. Feel that stretch from the hip, keeping the hip plugged into the mat. Feel the stretch coming all the way up the side of your body, underneath your armpit, all the way up through your biceps and triceps nearly. Take a nice breath into this area, expanding it that little bit more, getting the flow of oxygen to the brain as we breathe in, and getting the flow of the blood through these side body long area back into our heart. Inhaling, feeling lovely expansion into the length all the way down our bodies. And on the next inhale, we're going to crawl our hands over to center and continuing the walk all the way over to the opposite side, placing our right hand in the mat and the left hand on top, making sure that our left hip is plugged into the mat. And feel that lovely stretch coming all the way up. Feel the stretch all the way through your hip, all the way the lower part of your left side of your body, coming into the muscles in the ribs, as we said, all the way under the armpit. You can even feel it from the deltoids all the way up our arms. So it's a beautiful, most gentle stretch. Sometimes when we stop and take a pause in our stretches, this helps to open and release an awful lot more, which will give us better health into our bodies. Sometimes releasing emotions. Sometimes we might get emotional. It could be positive or negative emotions when we do our yoga practice, but that's all good because we're releasing all the time. Inhaling,
Breathe into the left hand side of the body. Feel that expansion all the way from the hip, all the way up through the armpit down into our fingertips. Drawing the belly button in on the exhale. Slowly bringing our hands back in.
And we take our hands back in through the side. Just going to gently coming up onto all fours. Just do a little cat-cow, just a little cat-cow here. Back into neutral, curling our toes around. As we curl our toes around, just going to do into downward facing dog. So pressing in with your magic buttons into your hands. Just going to gently walk our feet. Just stretching out one hamstring at a time. And as we do that, taking our knees back down, and we're going to take our right leg up towards the front of the mat. So for this little pose, we're just going to start opening and closing one hip at a time. Sorry, I won't say closing, but opening and releasing one hip at a time. We're going to take our blocks. Now, if anyone has any knee issues, I just invite you to take a blanket, place it under your knee. This will be very good for you. If you don't have any issues with your knees, you can just take that blanket and just keep it to one side. You won't need it. Taking our blocks onto either side. Keeping our hips facing forward. So just placing our hands on your hips. Keeping our hips facing forward. Taking a nice big breath, keeping our balance. So this is a little bit of balance as well. Balance is very good for helping with our focus. So we want to take our front leg out in front. And we want to take the back leg. So the back leg is in line with our hip. We're going to slowly bend our front knee so it's facing over a little bit towards our toes. As we do, take a hold of our blocks. Inhale, dropping our tailbone. So tucking our tailbone under a little bit. And lengthening up through the spine. Get space in your spine. Just maybe check in with your hips. We don't want our hips to go offline. So we want to maybe take the front leg and draw it back into our hip sockets as we lengthen and expand our beautiful hip muscles. This is our hip flexor muscles. This is our psoas muscle. And it does get tight from sitting a lot. So it's very good to expand and release. So we'll lengthen them all the way. Dropping the shoulders away from the ears, drawing the muscles back onto your back. Maybe open our little hearts a little bit here. And just stay here for a breath and a pause. If you want to adjust your legs in any way, I feel I need to adjust my back leg a little bit more. Now, from here, we start getting a bit of strength in our front leg as we stretch the back leg. So it doesn't matter which side is stronger. Both legs get equal strength into their legs. From here, we're going to roll onto our front heel, taking our blocks back a little bit for stability and support. And we're just going to stretch out the back of our legs, so our hamstrings and calves. Keeping a bend in the knee is always good. So lengthen up through the spine. Exhaling, we're going to do a little forward fold, sending our heart down towards and keeping the shoulders back as well. Smile brightly into this. Expanding out our toes a little bit. And inhale, coming all the way back up. Walk your blocks forward as we draw our front knee forward again. Tucking the tailbone under, keeping the hips nicely squared, lengthening up through our bodies on the inhale, keeping the shoulders dropped away from the ears. And inhaling. Feel a lovely length all the way up through your hip flexors. The hip flexor muscle, the psoas muscle, gets all the way through our ribs, all the way down our legs. So it's a great one to stretch out. Slowly rocking back into center, taking that knee back. Maybe sitting back and forward. And taking the opposite leg up. So we're just balancing, always balancing in our yoga practice. We'll just balance the opposite leg out. So, making sure our hips are square, tucking the tailbone under, and draw that front leg down. And making sure that if you have any knee injuries, put the blanket underneath your knee. This is a little traction motion as well, because we want to keep our alignment really good. So we want our hip, knee and ankle always in one straight line. So when we're doing this pose, we're going back and forward. So we're tracking our alignment from our ankle through our knee into our hips. So inhale and lengthen up, making sure our hips are still forward. Feel a nice stretch in the right hip flexor this time. This actually helps to compress a little of our lymph nodes in the left-hand side of our body. So by compressing and releasing, we're leaving that flow of lymph fluid throughout our bodies, which helps to basically facilitates the absorption of fats and fat-soluble nutrients in the digestive system. So the lymphatic system is actually so important to work all the time. Sometimes you need to compress and release all the lymph nodes in the body to keep the immune system and everything in good order. So rolling back onto our heel, taking the blocks back so you get length in the spine still. Now, this is my less dominant side, so this is where I feel all the way back in my hamstring. I actually have a little issue with my hamstring, which my yoga practice is really helping me with all the time. So keeping the hips facing forward, tucking the tailbone under, inhale, lengthen up through the spine. Keep the toes flexed. If you want to move that leg out a little more, it might help. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, little forward fold all the way. Feel that beautiful deep stretch going from your sit bones through your hamstrings. You can feel it all the way in your calf muscle. Nice stretch in the calf muscle. And our calf is our second heart. It has the soleus muscle in the side of our leg, and that muscle, when it contracts and releases, it stretches and closes back in again. It actually pushes the blood back up to our beautiful, happy hearts. Inhale, lengthen. And coming all the way back up. Sending that leg forward one more time. Stretching through. Tucking the tailbone under, lengthening up through our bodies. Keep the hips nicely squared. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, releasing. Taking the hands onto the mat. Slowly taking that leg up. And you just walk the leg in the forward fold, keeping the bend in the knees. Inhale, half lift, nice long flat back. Exhale, do another forward fold. And inhale. Drawing your core muscles in, so switching on your core muscles. Inhale, long flat back, coming gently all the way up. And be careful you don't get dizzy or anything when you're standing up. This is our first bit of standing in our class today. So we just want to really move our props out of the way. So just gently place your blocks so that they're not going to be in your way. And we're going to just do a little flow. I like to call this sharing the love. But we'll first start with just a couple of waves just to loosen out our body, just to go up and down first of all. So inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. So hinging from the hips, nice long flat back. Arms swan dive all the way down. Keep the bend in the knees. That's good. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, coming all the way up. Exhale down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen. Keeping this core strong. Exhale down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Nice long flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, coming all the way up. Just do a few little half waves before we start our standing poses. And this standing pose, as I said, I like to call it sharing the love. So we're just going to start off. We're going to come into a warrior one. So I always like to keep our alignment principles good. So keeping our feet 2 fists apart. So we want to make sure our feet are nice in line with our the tops of our femur bones. So in line with the top of our leg bones. So have them nice and parallel all the way down to meet the second toe. Dropping the shoulders away from the ears. And just feel where your hips are again, because when we come into our pose, we want our hips to be in the same position. We don't want our hips to move side to side. So we're going to take our left leg back. And when we take our left leg back, your left leg can actually be in parallel with each other. Often in our warrior one, they like to have the heel to the heels. So we kind of keep it where you have it parallel. So people with the hips that are a little bit more tighter, you can actually get into the pose and have it more accessible for you. So we're going to work one side at a time, so both sides gets full benefit. And the back leg is at a 45-degree angle. So first of all, we're going to do a little bit of traction again with the knee here. So we're going to come into our warrior one, and remember, this is called share the love. So first of all, we're going to come into our warrior one by bending the front knee over our ankle. Just take your hands onto your hips just to ensure that they're nicely squared. Tuck our tailbone under. Inhale, lengthening all the way up through the spine. Just take a look down at your front knee just to make sure that the front knee isn't going off to one side. Make sure it's over the ankle. And from here, we're going to take a hold and we're going to lean forward to take a hold of a big, beautiful piece of love. Pushing through the heel on the back to keep stability in both legs. It's strengthening our legs. Inhale, keep the shoulders back down on our backs. As we take hold of that love, we want to be able to wear the love with pride. So we're going to, as we're taking the love back, we're going to straighten our front leg. As we do, we're going to come into angel wing hand, spreading the love onto our bodies. So front leg is straight and the back muscles are squeezing our back muscles together, spreading the love all over our bodies, wearing the love. From here, we want to see if we share the love. So we're going to take our one hand to the back and the front hand comes to the front. So we're going to look for someone to share the love with. So take a nice inhale, lengthen up through the spine, and just exhaling, turning the upper part of our body, look over our right shoulder. Inhale back to center. Exhale, looking for someone over our left shoulder. Keeping our hips squared. Inhale back to center. Once you've found that person, we're going to take a hold of the love and share it out to them. So we're going to share the love by bending the front knee, taking a hold of the love and sending it forward. Giving that love, sharing it to somebody else. Keeping the length in our bodies, lengthen through our spine. Pushing in with the heel on the front of the foot. Try and keeping the hip, the right hip, pull the right hip back towards you a little more if you feel you're going offline. And from here we can both send gratitude for this love. We're going to take a nice big inhale. As we inhale, lengthen all the way up. Straighten the front leg. Take our hand round into namaste hands. Curling forward into small upper cat back, namaste hands, gratitude for this love, lengthening through our upper back, lengthening into our leg. Keep scissoring our legs together so our legs are keeping nice and strong. Take a nice big inhale. And exhale, releasing out of that pose, releasing, relaxing down, walking the legs forward. Just give it a little shake out. I like to take my feet parallel and come into like a half a chair. So inhale, lengthen, draw our sit bones down. And as we do, just take a little ski. Just rocking side to side, left to right. Just rotating the hips up and down, bending the knees, keeping the traction in the knees all the time. So we don't want our knees going out or coming in. You want to keep a little traction. This is just to do a little ski after having our hips in that warrior position. Just relaxing it out. Coming back to center, lengthen all the way up. We'll take to the opposite side. I'm going to face this way on my mat so that I'm facing you the whole time. So, spreading out the toes widely on the front foot, taking the back leg back, and again, you can have them in parallel like two train tracks. Taking a hold of our hips, hips facing forward, and the back foot is at a nice 45-degree angle, so our feet are pointing in this similar direction. Taking a look at our front leg and just allowing our front knee to bend over our ankle. So we want to make sure that our ankle is over our knee and our knee is in line with our front hip, keeping the hips nicely squared. So again, let's share that love. Taking And inhale, lengthen a beautiful axial extension as you lengthen up through towards the sky, drawing the shoulder blades down onto the back. Inhale. And sending that love forward, taking a hold of this love, keeping the knee over the ankle. Maybe check in with your body, working the opposite side now. Again, the symmetrical and asymmetrical side of our bodies, working both. Keeping our legs strong. This builds good strength and stamina in our bodies, into our legs. A little bit of focus, because we have to balance here also. Focus and concentration when we're holding it here for just a small moment. So now that we have the love, accept it and wear it. So straightening the front leg, drawing the angel wings back, so spreading that love all the way down onto our backs, muscles onto our back, into our heart center, raising our heart a little bit, looking up towards the ceiling. Inhale, feel that love. Now we want to share that love, taking a hold of the love high towards the sky. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, sending that love forward. So sorry, I messed up. So we're in our angel wings and we're going to look for someone to share that love. My apologies. So taking at the front hand towards our forehead and the back hand around our back. Inhale, lengthen. And we're going to take a look behind us to see who can we find to share the love with. Is anyone out there in need of some love? Looking to the opposite side, keeping the hips square. Inhale, back to center. And now I think we've found somebody. So let's share that love. So we're going to take the bend in the front knee, warrior legs. Inhaling, lengthen. And send that love out to somebody who is in need of love. Strengthening the left-hand side of the legs this time. And stretching a little bit on the back muscles as we do so. Keeping the shoulders plugged in at all times, but a little bit of stretch in the back muscles. Lengthening all the way up. Now we want to show our gratitude and thanks for this love. So inhale, lengthen, straightening the front leg. Hands up high to the sky, coming down into namaste hands. Inhale as we take a little round into the back, exhaling. Send the love, send gratitude to our love, bowing our heads. And inhale, coming all the way back up. And relaxing down. Okay, so again, coming into our little ski chair. So inhale. Exhale, drawing our hands down. So it's like we're in a sitting position. And just circulating our hips. You can even move our hands side to side. Just to get that lubrication, the fluid motion through our little hips on either side. If you find your knees coming in, just take a look down and make sure the traction of the knees is in a nice straight line. And relaxing, coming all the way back up. And just maybe shake out your two legs. So that's built up an awful lot of strength into our legs. We've sucked the muscles onto the bones, working our bones all the time. And we'd like to do a little bit of a balance pose now. So I like to call this crane and airplane. But starting off, if anyone feels, again, we have different sides of our body. One's more dominant. So if you want to hold on to the wall, it's a really good idea to hold on to the wall just to help with the balance. There's no point in being off balance and not getting into the pose correctly. To make sure that we get a little bit of strength into our legs. And balancing poses are fabulous for focusing strength in our legs, building the strength into one leg at a time, and then also with focus and concentration. So we're going to start off, and I'll do the first one sideways, holding onto the wall. Okay, so we're going to take a hold, spreading the toes of our right leg out, and just coming up into a little crane position. So inhale, lengthen. Taking our two hands out in front if this is accessible to you, and flex that foot. So inhale, pushing through the standing leg, lengthening all up, and maybe spread your elbows a little bit. Lengthen up through the spine. And as you exhale, think of a beautiful holiday destination, and we'll fly together. So this is our plane motion, and this is where you can hold on to the wall. If you feel that you want to hold on to the wall. So stretching through the heels, spreading our arms wide for this lovely aeroplane, and maybe take our hands back a little just to hold on to the muscles onto the back, spreading the muscles onto keeping the muscles onto the back of our bodies. And slowly coming all the way up. And exhale. Okay, so that's crane plane. I'm going to do it on the opposite side now. So this time I'm going to have my strong standing leg spreading out the toes. I'll come forward a little bit so I don't hit the wall. And we're going to take a nice big inhale. As we inhale, we're going to lengthen up through the opposite side, through the whole body, taking focus on something on the ground. It's always good to actually have a little focus of something on the ground, flexing our front foot, spreading our elbows. This helps to stretch the pectorals a little bit, spreading them out just a little bit at a time. And as we think of a beautiful holiday destination, we're going to send our balance our leg all the way out the back, keeping our heels, pushing through our heels each time, spreading out our arms. Just see how you go with your balance. Again, you might have one dominant side compared to the other, stretching through that heel. Maybe raise your head slightly to keep a little bit of a back bend. So we're stretching our pectoral muscles and we're compressing our muscles onto our back. This is very good for kyphosis. A lot of the time with kyphosis, the muscles on our back are lengthened and weakened, and the muscles on our front are tight. So this does the opposite. Inhale, coming all the way back up. And relax down. Wonderful. So just give a little shake out. Beautiful. We're going to come back down onto our mats now. So, just coming down onto our mats. Just coming down to all fours. Just going to come into a child's pose. Just to take a moment to notice how both sides of the body feels. So sitting back into our heels, if this is comfortable for you. Just gently relaxing our hands down to the floor. Just start with a nice big inhale. And as you exhale, allow yourself to draw down towards the floor. If you want to take your hands out in front, and maybe take a hold of your two elbows even, and make a cushion with your arms. Just gently melting your heart into the ground. Notice how the right side and the left side of the body feels. Notice the heat drawn into the body as the circulation is now flowing, the prana is flowing throughout our entire body. Slowly when you're ready, I'm going to come up onto all fours. And again, if you have any issues with your knees, please feel free to take a blanket and be mindful of your wrists as well. So this is a slight balancing pose, but it's actually for the core muscles. So it's called Prowling Tiger. So we want a nice flat back like a tabletop. Nice little length through the neck. We're just going to take our right leg up and send the heel out. So we want to split our energies. From the lower part of our body, we want to push down through our heels, sending the energy all the way down. And the upper part can just remain in neutral. Drawing that knee in and planting it on the ground, keeping our knees 2 fists apart. And we'll do the same with the opposite leg, stretching that heel all the way out. Feel that energy all the way down through the front part of your body as you extend all the way. And maybe feel your glute muscle tighten a little bit. This is strengthening the glute muscles as we're going along. Lengthening all the way. And slowly dropping that knee down. So this is where the challenge comes in. And if you're not up for it, just stay maybe just with the hands planted on the ground, just use the legs. But if you're up for the challenge, we're going to take our right leg and extend it all the way out again. Pushing through our heels, taking the right hand and send that right hand all the way up. So we're like splitting the energies now. Now we have from all the way down our bodies, energy going all the way down, but equally all the way up. So by doing this, we're sucking the muscles onto the bones. We're actually using our muscle energy. Keeping our balance and our focus. Take a nice big inhale and switching on your core. Feel the draw of the core muscles in. Clawing with your fingertips, keeping the balance. And slowly as we inhale, coming back down on this side, taking the opposite knee down. And we'll do the same on the other side. So this time we're going to take our left leg up, extending all the way out through our heels. Take a nice big inhale. And switching on those core muscles again. Make sure your left hand is nice and in a nice stable position. Sending the right hand all the way up. Keeping the shoulders plugged into the back, into your shoulder sockets. You don't want to extend it so far that we're topping over. So draw that hand back, but switching the energy on in the hand as we do so. Extending all the way back. Feel the left glute muscle work as we stretch through the front part of the body. Take a nice big inhale. Feel it in your core muscles. Stability and balance we're working on, as well as drawing our core muscles here. And gently coming down. So gently coming down. Just come back into child's pose. Just descending all the way down. Just take a moment. Relaxing down the body just for a moment. Taking the pause to notice how that felt. Each limb working in a different direction. Using each limb to its full potential. And gently, when you're ready, I want you to gently come up into our seated position now. And we're going to come onto our backs. So, rolling gently down the front. This is technically called rolling bridge, but I gave it a new name. I'm calling it sunrise to sunset. So it is in bridge pose. So feet are slightly wider than our hips. Our hands are placed down along our bodies for this one. Maybe spread our shoulders out a little more. Maybe adjust any little adjustments you need to do before you start. And just visualize the horizon. Just like the world, the earth, its horizon. We have the land and then the sky, like our bodies are split into two. So we can visualize that. And just as the sun comes up, we're going to start moving from our pelvic and our hands. Slowly, the pelvic is going to vertebrae by vertebrae slowly come all the way up. Just like the sun rises, pressing in with the heels as we slowly come up. Take a nice big inhale. And exhaling, extending those arms all the way down towards the ground behind you. If that's not comfortable, you can keep them up a little bit higher if that's more comfortable. Or maybe bend them down into cactus if that's more comfortable for you. Otherwise, if you want to keep them all the way up and over, pressing in with the heels, see if you can send that pelvic up a little bit higher. Maybe squeezing the glute muscles a little bit. Stretching through the front planes of the body in our sunrise. And strengthening the back of the body. Drawing in the belly, stretching through our arms. Ever so slowly as we take a next inhale. Slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, lowering our backs down towards the mat. Our hands come up and over. Just as the sun sets, we're setting our sun down beyond the horizon, all the way down to the ground. Relaxing the limbs, relaxing the body. Maybe take our legs and maybe just do one knee at a time first of all. Get a little lubrication into our hips. Working our bodies. Taking both knees and maybe circling them around. Feel the lower back, getting a nice little massage. Getting into the back of the kidneys, even right kidney, left kidney. And the opposite direction. It's like we want to draw a little circle onto the ceiling. Just noticing our bodies all the time, how it feels in our yoga practice today. Keeping our legs up. We're going to allow our legs, just taking the right hand, place the right hand towards the left side of the body. We're just going to slowly roll those down to the ground. And as we extend out both arms, moving any props out of the way, extending both arms out, We can look over towards the left hand side. Just feel a nice supine twist. Relaxing down the body. And maybe in our supine twist, we might just get the last movement into our shoulders by taking our shoulders around, moving our shoulders in our sockets and circling our arms all the way. So palms facing down as on our lower body, and as it comes up, palms facing up on our upper side of the body. Palms facing down as we circle it around, palms facing up as we come around, following it with our gaze as we look around, in the last little bit of movement in our upper body. Placing the hand on the ground and take an inhale, drawing our knees up to center. Exhaling, twisting to the opposite side, looking all the way over to the right hand side as we twist our knees to the left. Relaxing down the body, feel that lovely lengthening in the side of our right side of our body. And maybe again taking our arms, so palms facing down as we circle around the base of our body, and palms facing up as we come up and over our heads. Palms facing down, and palms facing up, following with a gaze. Last round, palms facing down, and palms facing up. And relaxing out our body as we do so. Taking our knees back up towards our heart center, giving them one last hug. Squeezing, giving a little psoas release here in the hip flexors. And gently lengthening out for our beautiful Savasana. So lying down on our mats. Take any last adjustments that you may have. Spreading the back. Allowing our palms to face up towards the ceiling, down by our sides. Take a nice big inhale and exhaling, letting go of everything. And just maybe rock our head side to side, releasing out the last bit of tension in our necks. Maybe tucking our chin down towards our heart center, lengthening the back of our neck. Just relaxing our 2 feet out to the sides. Noticing the space between our eyebrows. Just allow our eyebrows to soften and relax and release. Letting go of both sides of our body. Maybe opening our mouth slightly just to relax the jaw, just that little bit deeper. Maybe notice the side of our dominant side. Maybe focus on that side for a moment. Just allow it to sink into the mat like gravity's drawing you in, drawing you into the ground, going deeper and deeper. And then notice the not so dominant side. Just take your focus to that side. And draw that side deeper and deeper, like a magnet drawing you into the mat. All the way down, relaxing, releasing, and just letting go of absolutely everything. Taking notice of your back. Maybe feel the warmth of the back as it relaxes into the mat and melts and dissolves all the way down. Notice your hips feeling heavier and weighted into the mat. Relaxing your belly, your intestines. Giving your organs a chance to stop, pause, heal, rejuvenate, Pressing down both legs. As you inhale, inhale into the crown of your mind. Inhaling down towards your heart center, down through your solar plexus and sacrum, down through both legs, and dissolving any tension or stress you may carry, releasing it all out. Maybe circulating from side to side, up and down, flexing and pointing. Maybe drawing them up one leg at a time, placing our feet on the floor. Just taking a moment here. Taking up our knees a little higher, maybe giving ourselves a last little hug. Circling again into our backs. Just gently rolling over to one side, onto the right hand side. Taking a pause just to adjust yourself. Pressing into the mat with your left hand, pushing yourself up nice and gently. And we're just coming back with closed eyes, back into seated position, sitting comfortably into your seat. This time joining both sides together, lengthening all the way up, bringing our hands up towards the ceiling into prayer position. Taking an inhale and exhaling, joining our hands together into prayer position. Softly opening our eyes. I truly hope you enjoyed my 1 hour gentle yoga teach back class. It was an absolute pleasure and honour, and hopefully we'll join again soon.